Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, and that is Connor, and we are going to talk about a new show called Designated Survivor. It stars Kiefer Sutherland, and it's about basically the president and every other member of the cabinet in the US is killed, and the Designated Survivor, which is played by Kiefer Sutherland's character, is the new president, even though he was low
Not
ranking
elected. Yeah.
and what is he? He's the housing benefit guy. He does housing
Secretary,
reforms.
secretary for housing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is episode one, of course, is the pilot, and we'll start off spoiler free, and we'll go into some spoilers maybe later on, and we'll give you warning before we go into spoilers because it's the first episode, and you might want to see if it's worth checking out. So, I guess before we start talking about specifics, did you like it, Connor?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not
No.
amazing, but it's all right.
That's a little bit more positive than I am, I think. No, I didn't hate it, but I did have a number of problems with it.
Mm,
Uh,
I got some problems. Don't get me wrong.
I think first and foremost, it does the whole opening scene, then jump back a day.
That was my biggest problem. It redeemed itself slightly though, because when it did that, I was like, "Oh, God's sake, this is going to be the whole episode." But it's not.
Well, see, that's the funny thing is when the episode started and it immediately goes into the incident, if you will, that
Yeah.
gets the whole thing going. I thought this is too quick. I feel like they should be spending at least half an episode building up to this, letting us know who these people are first. So when it cut
See,
back,
see, I don't agree with that. I like learning who people are through the event. Like you have to see, you judge who they are in the moment, like in their reactions, in how they deal with things.
now see, I agree with that as an option. I think some things do that very well. Some movies do that very well. I think in this show though, it doesn't feel that way at all. I feel like I need to know who these characters are. You've thrown me in. It happens so quickly.
Mm.
It's maybe a minute into the show, and oh, there's an explosion. What's going on? Um, so I was actually happy when it cut back to 15 hours earlier. I was annoyed that they did this plot device. I wish it had just played out in order, but
Yeah, it definitely should have just played it.
but I did think we needed that time. I would almost go as far to say that I think the episode should have ended with the incident happening.
Okay.
I think we should have spent the entire day setting up who these people were, setting up where, because there's a whole lot of things going on. There's where he is in his career and all that. There's a lot of stuff that's brought up that makes his becoming president a little bit ironic, and I feel like we could have spent time building these characters up and really getting a sense of who these people were. Not only Kiefer Sutherland's character, but his assistant, who's Siobhan from Supergirl. I knew I recognised her from somewhere, and
Ah,
that's where
that's
she's
what it
from.
is.
Yeah, she's Emily, and she's played by Atalia Ricci. So yeah, but no, I felt like I could have spent more time on that. But whatever, right? So get past that. Pilot feels a bit rushed in places, as pilots tend to do. Um, Particularly there was one thing especially that I thought was rushed is he's president for about 10 minutes and there's already a crisis for him to solve. Outside of the incident, there's something almost immediately for him to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though, because like they kind of bring up in the episode, people are gonna react and seize opportunities.
It just felt a little bit too neat. Just
Uh,
purely so that we could have
Something
something for him
else.
to do that was presidential in the first episode.
I get that. I do think that should have been saved for the second episode,
Yeah,
and but I kind of understand it happening soon at the same time from a plot perspective.
also, there's elements of the show that are quite cheesy. There's one character in particular that I thought was really over the top. There's a military guy who is clearly very against
Mm.
Kiefer Sutherland being president, and in this first episode, he's already starting to plot his downfall, and it's just it's like mustache twirling
It
villain.
is, but see, I feel like you're playing this as a native, but I like that.
Oh no, that bothered the hell out of me.
Ah, see, I don't mind it having a bit of fun like that. If that's what I'm getting, that's fine.
To me, this isn't a show that should be fun though. It's not. the
Why
premise
not?
doesn't lend itself to silly theatrics. It's
I don't know. I think it does. I mean, that's the thing. You say, oh, it's essentially a terrorist attack, but at no point in the show does it ever feel serious to be a true like, oh my God, we're supposed to feel devastated about this terrorist attack. It always feels to me like it's going to be a bit more fun with the show in general throughout the entire thing.
see, I don't think that works for this premise though. I feel like going light-hearted with this is actually kind of the wrong way to go.
See, I don't agree with that at all. Well, I don't
Okay,
understand why is that a problem going lighthearted with it.
I don't know. I don't think it works. I legitimately think there's several scenes in this episode that don't work.
Oh, there are. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. There are definitely scenes that don't work.
I just feel and I think the problem is whenever they try to make it feel a little bit more serious, it just kind of falls flat for me.
Mm.
Um, and they have a scene where he clearly doesn't know certain things. Like he assumes something because he's seen it in a movie that the president would have to do, and they all just sort of look at each other and I don't know. Like I feel like this should be a heavy topic almost, and
See,
it
but we've seen this as a heavy topic countless times. It's always played as a heavy topic when there's like terrorist attacks in TV shows.
because it's a terrorist attack. It should be played as a heavy topic.
Why? Why not do something a bit different with it?
Cause it's a terrorist attack.
I don't agree with this logic.
I just don't think it's that lighthearted. I don't think it should be, and it kind of just did not jive with me when I was watching this. It felt the whole episode to me felt like a disposable TV show that felt very network TV. There was lots of things that felt like a mainstream network show that was cutting corners in terms of like setting things up
That's fair. I'll definitely agree with that.
and like the FBI side of things. Maggie Hughes' character, who doesn't meet any of the other characters in this, she's like just investigating what's going on at the explosion, and her being like, well, before all these other attacks, all these things happened. So, she set that sets up the ongoing serialized plot, I guess,
That there's
where
going to be more to come.
they're going to look into who's done this, who's responsible. Is going to be a big mystery because it's not just the obvious suspects, and that's fine. Like, don't get me wrong, but like all the president stuff, like him going into the toilet and just happening to be talking to a guy who's insulting him because he doesn't know who he's talking to.
No, I agree. That's I have that issue. That one particular. That's too neat. That stuff happens. That's a very network TV thing.
Do you know what I think my other problem is? Is I feel like the premise is very short-winded in terms of what the premise itself is. Like, the show could go for years. This show could be 10 seasons long. But the actual premise that he's this guy who just becomes the president suddenly really only lasts for the first little while. Because eventually, he's just going to be used to being president.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And at that point, though, it just becomes a show about a president running the country.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at that point the arc becomes him fighting for re-election and like earning his presidency legitimately. I mean, I'm just assuming that's got to be where you go after that, surely.
I guess, but I have no interest in, like, based on the
Ah, right,
characters in this episode, I have
that's
no
fair
interest
enough.
in that. I mean, I'm not saying the whole thing's bad. I think it's an easy enough watch. I think Kiefer Sutherland's very good. In fact, the cast as a whole's mostly pretty good. I don't think there's any super weak links. Um, yeah, I don't know. There was lots of, I don't know. It just
There
didn't
was
sit with me. It
there was
felt.
one bit where I felt like I missed something entirely.
What
Where
section was that?
his assistant, his chief of staff, and she's trying to get in to where they all are, and the police turn her away, going, "No, you're not on the list." And then in the next scene, she's talking to one of the guys that is there.
She's inside the building at that
She's
point.
inside the building. It's like, hang on, what happened here?
She has a line where she says, "Oh, it took me ages to get in," but that's it. That's the
Yeah,
extent
I
of it.
feel like I really missed something though.
I'll be honest. The whole show, for the most part, feels very fake to me. There's something very, I don't know. There's something very superficial about the whole thing.
Mm.
If you want, do you want to touch on spoilers for a little bit?
Yeah, can do.
All right, so full spoilers then for Designated Survivor. Then from this point on, so yeah, the football moment, the nuclear football, which is something we've heard about, and it's really funny seeing Kiefer Sutherland be the president in this situation because in 24 he was the one chasing after the stolen football. I think that was in season 1, maybe season 2. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched 24, but like that was a plot line at one point, is he was trying to retrieve the stolen football, and stuff like that. But yeah, so he asked Danny to get my fingerprints taken so that I can I get scanned when I go to use it, and they all just look at each other as if, don't be ridiculous, not everything you see in movies is real, and that kind of bothered me, that moment, because
Because it feels like that's a legitimate potential security thing.
well, yeah, it doesn't feel that unrealistic to begin with, but on top of that, I feel like the whole show feels very unrealistic, so that just felt like, hey, we're being smart because we're saying this is unrealistic, but
I get it. It felt weird to me because it was like, look, I mean, maybe that is how it works, and there is no fingerprint. But it seems like a legitimate question. When you can unlock your phone with a fingerprint,
yeah.
why would this not have some sort of security?
There's a lot of problems I had with the occasional, so the son, because their kids are obviously not there. They've got like a babysitter or whatever, and the son's out with a friend.
Not a fan of this plot line at all.
No. The son stuff was
Straight up bad. I'll give you that.
the worst part of the episode probably. But so the Secret Service guys, they go and pick him up, and he's driving him back to the White House, and the kid's like, "I thought you were driving me home." Dramatic pause. I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, just tell him his dad's the goddamn president.
Yeah, but the bit before gave me a chuckle, so I'll kind of forgive it a little bit.
It just felt so forced. It's forced so that he can go, I am.
It is. It was. Yeah. But when he goes, "Oh, how'd you find me?" and he gives us this really long-winded explanation of, so he goes, "Really?" Like, no, I just pinged your phone.
Yeah, sure, that was fine.
It got me a little chuckle.
I don't know. I feel like a few things differently, I might be really into it. Like, if they played up the mystery of who did this a bit more, I might be more intrigued. But interestingly, I have no interest in following the president in the situation.
I feel like we will get the mystery played up though, because obviously
Probably.
we've got the FBI following that thread, and obviously they've got Maggie Q. She's got a name, like there's got someone for that role for a reason.
There is, yeah. But of course, even she's kind of cliched because she's not meant to be there, and she's went there anyway because she's a rogue.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. There's no denying some of these complaints that you have, and like I said, I don't think it's perfect, but I think the cheesy fun aspects of it work for me much better than they do for you, clearly.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a show that should be cheesy, and it is really cheesy.
It is. It's very cheesy network, but I don't have a problem with that personally.
Well,
I can see why you wouldn't like it if you're not into that.
and it's funny actually because I said it should have taken more time, and the weird thing is the ending they actually give the episode feels like they did take time, but I don't think they really did, because it ends with the speech he's about to give, which had you asked me 10 minutes before that, I would have assumed that speech would have been in the episode.
Nah, I knew it wasn't.
Oh really? You thought you knew it was going to cut there?
Well, I thought it might cut before the speech in general, but
Okay. I thought it would end with the speech. I thought we'd actually see him kind of be reassuring, or in the opposite case, be completely
be awful,
awful and not inspire any confidence whatsoever.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
But no, that's Designated Survivor. Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not feeling it. So no future reviews on the channel for this show. But by all means, let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz. And remember, there's a bunch of other shows coming over the next month and a half. New shows, returning shows, all sorts of things. Some of them we'll keep, some of them we won't. But there'll be a lot of episode 1 reviews regardless. So, yeah. So keep watching TV, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.